As I walk past the living room, I overhear the low rasp of Flynn's voice. His tone is serious. And then the fucker shoved me. You said he was pulling this shit at the mall too. Mm-hmm. I'd talk to Chase if you wanted more details. To think he had just had to pick this day of all days to fucking snap. Flynn rubs the tip of his snout. His slitted eyes narrowed when they spot me. Then he just looks back to Jenna. Let's call Malco now. Right. Flynn begins to dial for the sheriff. Jenna looks towards the door, then to me. We'll talk later, Chase, okay? If you want, of course. I pause, having been about to head upstairs. Oh yeah, sure thing. That was a horrible delivery the first time. She smiles at me, despite everything. Oh, hey. TJ rises up from Carl's computer chair, clearly forcing a smile as he sees me. He's clutching his cell phone to his chest. TJ? Yeah? Are you okay? No. TJ sinks back down into the chair. Perking a brow, I move one of Carl's console gaming chairs over towards the computer area. TJ slides his cell phone back into his pocket. I'm worried about Carl. We all are. We're calling the police and hopefully they can help us, yeah? I know, it's just that image on the phone, you know? The picture Carl took? Yeah, it's, spooky. Spooky doesn't begin to describe my initial thoughts regarding it, but this is TJ I'm speaking to, so gentle words and all. Yeah. One of his canines sinks into his lower lip, the link's chewing on it nervously. Maybe it's a screenshot of something he had on his monitor. We could check his history and recent documents to make sure. Have you already checked all that? His face flashes with a guilty expression. No, there's a password required to log in. Oh yeah, the new version of these operating systems makes you log in with your email account. It's dumb. I pause thinking for a moment, then scoot a little closer to the keyboard. May I? TJ blinks, it taking him a second to understand. Oh yeah, sure. He rolls to the side and I pull the keyboard closer to me. Clicking the mouse begins up the generic login window. The username BlazeIce is visible. Oh boy, do we get to type in a password? When we were younger, Carl and I used to play a lot of free-to-play MMO type games. I convinced him to give me his password for one once, saying that I'd grind XP for him while he was on vacation with his parents. In reality, asshole sent me his rare party hat item to my character. I tried to tell him that the game devs deleted the item from the game, but I don't think he believed me. God, I was a shitty 10-year-old. Oh hey, that worked. Yep, kinda surprises me he's still using the same old password, but kinda not at the same time. Carl isn't one much for change, right? Anyway, what should we look through first? TJ scoots closer, his chin practically on my shoulder. I have to shift my head some so that his whiskers don't brush my cheek. His messenger, I guess? Good dragon. Oh yeah, I think this is at the end of one of the Route 65 things. Huh, I don't recognize most of those names. Pueblo Otter, Leo, Flynn. Stranger Things 2. Trap Skirt, Lucha Leche, Walmart the Memer. Love how it's good dragon. Oh boy. Clean thoughts, TJ's here. I see you and me on here. Most of these others outside of our group are his online friends. It's good to know that he's still being social and meeting people after we left. Well, besides the names of people in our group, these look to be all online people. I played Vox Desparis multiplayer with Carl and that Lucha Glecha guy before. He lives on the other side of the planet, practically. Is it Vo Desparis? I don't know. I wonder if he still talks to Heather. I hope not. There was a brief silence. Flynn messaged him earlier, though I see a 1 next to his name. But I didn't think he wants us reading that. He didn't want anyone looking through Carl's phone after he and Jenna were looking at it. I think Flynn might have been venting to Carl about what happened at the river pretty hard-like. TJ's face briefly scrunches, as if flinching in response to that information. I move to click on Flynn's name, but TJ stops me. No. Blinking, I look over towards a wide-eyed TJ, who seems to be now recoiling from his own abrupt interruption. What? Sorry. I just think we shouldn't pry into that, if he didn't want us to see it. To be honest, Flynn being so cagey about his contact with Carl just makes me more curious. However, if what little stuff Flynn said to TJ to his face was enough to leave him shaken and distraught, I can't imagine what seeing the stuff he didn't say would do. Alright. I scoot back to the side a little, letting TJ take the mouse. He still looks pretty guilty for snapping at me. Let's check his browser history. Okay. TJ moves the cursor down to the star-like symbol on the taskbar. Sorry, stretching something. Huh, okay. Weed legal in my state movements. Hauntings of the desert. Fire factory. Blaze eyes. Gamer. I'm trying to see if there's anything important we need to see. Jobs. Super Wolf Retribution. Wasn't that like Superman Retribution or something like that back in the day? I'm an idiot. Okay. Nothing important. Weed, hauntings, porn, video games, movie reviews, job search stuff, and Let's Plays. I guess pretty par for the course with regards to Carl. Not too unusual, but TJ moves the cursor to the Fuda Factory link. I gently yet assertively place my paw on TJ's own and move the cursor elsewhere. It's a store for special couches. Isn't it called a futon? No. Look, the browsing history stops right before midnight. And the picture on Carl's phone was taken around that time, right? Yeah. That's really weird. It is. Let's keep looking. Try recent files. TJ nods, closing the browser and hesitating for a moment before clicking the most recent file titled carl.doc. Oh boy, resume. A resume? Looks like it. Fill in later. Workability, fill in later. I feel. My resume right now is pretty half-assed. Haven't needed it so far with the job I have. Having completed high school diploma, I quit working. Pay is not an issue for me. High school diploma. Okay, so they graduated in 2012. Interesting. Just a good historical timeline for the history of Echo. Alright. It's actually 5 years older than me. Weird to think about. Okay. Alright, anything else? He's got August 2011 to May 2012. Oh yeah, he worked at the grocery mart for a little while. I think he talked about that somewhere else. Okay, nothing else. Cool, looks like it.
Heh, I remember the Easy Mart. I'm still a little upset that it shut down.
I mean, it's no surprise why, TJ.
Yeah, it was just nice to have local food back when we were kids. The convenience store just isn't the same. The dietary choices available to people here are really limited now, unless they drive all the way to Peyton. A food dessert, I think it's called. Plus, it was nice to see Carl there working. He seemed to enjoy that place.
Because he got to slack off the whole time and there were barely any customers. But I get what you're saying. His anxiety about being around people wasn't nearly as bad back then. TJ nods, smiling sadly. I bet Jenna could help him. Or, no, that's TJ. I bet Jenna could help him. You know, she's not actually training to be a psychologist, right? Her studies are more neural med techy.
Oh, I know. She's a really good listener, though.
I nod. It's her big ears.
Chase!
I snicker, TJ shaking his head and closing the resume. He moves to open the next document on the list, titled F_129768.jpg. Fan art. What the? Isn't that supposed to be Leo? Oh, that's so funny. And I think this is before the new style of Leo, because Leo had like black hands instead of white. That's so funny. That's my old profile picture I drew for computer class back in 4th grade. How funny.
Wow, really? It does look familiar, kind of.
Yeah, I used it back when we were all making social media accounts.
My mom made me delete mine when I got home.
I feel. That was probably for the best. There was a lot of drama around how that site made you pick your top 8 friends, and you ranked them like that. A lot of feelings were hurt and such.
That sounds awful, and I think I remember some of it. Sydney didn't ever add me.
Oof. TJ's gaze shifts for a moment. I'm wondering why he has this saved, and why he was looking at it yesterday.
Maybe spending time together again made him sentimental? I still watch some of the funny movies we made with your camera back then. Your voice used to crack so much.
Same here, bud. I also had a camera as a kid too, like that. But it was more like when I was like 7 or 8 or whatever I got it, and it just like was very shaky with the camera. I remember it just being like, I had barely any good control of stability, and I would just like wave that thing around. The thing would have like a very weird clicking noise when it filmed. Oh man, it makes me think of my own childhood. Oh, I had like one of my close friends that we also made films with, and we had this ongoing superhero series with him and his sister, and it was awesome. We made like 9 episodes. I think we made like 6 in one night. Oh, it was so fun. God, this game makes you so nostalgic. It feels. I feel the sting of embarrassment rise from my neck to my cheeks. Oh man, I need to delete those. And as for me, I can't find mine actually. Like I've lost them sometime, like when I got my new computer. Or this isn't even new, but like when I switched to this computer I have now.
No, don't. They're really good. As silly as they are, you were really good at making them.
I grunt, waving dismissively. Just open the next file, TJ.
I really like the one where you use that editing software to make a twin of yourself.
CGI, baby. Use that green screen. Sets up for the best effects.
I think the plot was one of your twins was a detective and the other was a criminal, both trying to solve their father's murder. And they had superpowers.
Yep, every childhood movie, you gotta have superpowers. I was more ambitious than I probably should have been with that project. TJ, just click the next one.
Oh, alright. Sorry.
TJ clicks the next file labeled 092220008.png. Aw. Old Echo art, how awesome. That's from the trip when we took... that's from the trick... Third time's a charm. That's from the trip we took to the reservation. Back in, like, freshman year of high school. Jeez. Yeah, you got the old character sprites for that.
Look at you two. You were so little. Carl was just getting his beard.
I think we were both just getting used to high school at the time, and that was taken during Thanksgiving.
It's surprising to see Carl smiling in a photo.
It's surprising to see something of Carl other than his butt in a photo.
I wish you wouldn't send me those.
Oh my god. Send nudes. Carl's got you. Carl's got you when you send nudes. There's only one item left on the list of files that were opened yesterday. It titled tocarl.png. Wait a second. That sounds familiar. TJ looks at me curiously, then clicks it. Oh my goodness. That third spray on the far right of Chase. You're gonna see it used in different ways. It gets repurposed in some creepier ways, let me tell you that. Oh wow. At least it has Carl and Jenna's current sprite. I don't think Chase got a current sprite. I'm not sure, maybe this was his current sprite, but they never show him on screen. Oh well. Moving on from that. Oh wow. I emailed this to Carl months ago.
Photos like this make me wish I went with you guys to Pueblo.
Oh, we'd love to have you at Pueblo, TJ. Reminds me of all my friends splitting up for college. Oh, like this game is so nostalgic. Yeah, it's funny because it's like I play volleyball, and it's like since I played like on the high school team, it's like some of those guys ended up going to like 4-year universities and whatnot, and like got scholarships or things like that and whatnot. So they went there, and I was just like, I'm still here at home. It's like kind of sad to like split up with them because it's like they're at these different colleges, and I'm like, man, I wish I could go with you and all that. Man, adulting is hard and sad. Sorry for the rant. Let's get back to this. Yeah, I wish I went with you too, TJ. I was actually trying to convince Carl to come back and try again with a different major. His parents really wanted him to stay away from art degrees, which is what he really wants to do. That's the stereotype of the baby boomers. Don't get the dang art degree, gotta go in business or be a doctor or a lawyer or something. That's how I feel. It's like, I went into a STEM major now, it's like my parents are like, good for you. And it's like internally I'm thinking, they would have been so disappointed if I went for some graphics major. Makes me think. Anyway, TJ looks like he is about to respond, but his left ear perks. His attention shifts towards the doorway. I hear the sound of thuds against the carpet in the hall,
and I half expect to see Carl around the corner and ask what the hell we're doing. Instead, Jenna steps in, her turquoise eyes already trained on the computer monitor. She moves closer, leaning over to me and squinting at the screen. I remember that. First year of Ludlow. Your parents had dropped you off. I was wondering what the heck you had on your chin at the time. Everybody roasts that goatee. Chase, you're fond of the goatee. You rock it, man. Oh yeah, you hadn't seen me with facial scruff yet. I never took you for the soul patch kind of guy, honestly. That's what he honestly looks like. It's a goatee. It's kinda small for one, don't you think? I frown, reactively reaching up and touching the scruff on the end of my chin as I stroke my beard. It was kinda weird, but now I'm used to seeing it. I frown deeper. TJ blinks, giving me an apologetic look. I try to refocus the conversation. Carl is missing. He is. Why are you looking at old pictures? These were the files he was looking at yesterday. And we checked his browser history. His online activity stopped just before midnight and didn't ever resume. Anything unusual there? I think he was looking to buy a futa. Jenna stands there, staring at TJ with a deadpan expression. After about 5 seconds, she looks at me expectantly. He means a futon. But you said, no, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, well, I'll be sure to let the sheriff know when she gets here. Flynn steps in the room besides Jenna. Usually the Gila has a bit of a case of resting bitch face. Same here. But right now, he looks downright sour. Alright, let's figure out who's going to look where. Wolfboy has made the decision to go check the roads Elizabeth through Danica. Chase, you've got Margaret Lane through Tetanus Alley, Jasmine Street. Jasmine? Yeah, because that was Jenna's old name. I saw that, I was like, what? Or not old name, but you know, her original name. Sorry, moving on. I'm giving you more since you've got a car. I'll take Gretchen Way through the beginning part of Route 65 in my truck. Wink wink, Flynn. Route 65. TJ, you'll like hiking? We need to check around the hills and old nature trails around here, all the way down to the lake. TJ stiffens and the feeling in the room seems to cool drastically. Only if you're comfortable doing that, okay? We just want to be thorough. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I just want Carl to be okay. Jenna nods, offering TJ a reassuring smile. Just text me while you're out. I'll most likely be free since I'll be keeping watch here at the house. TJ smiles back sheepishly. Okay. Before you all scout off into your respective places, I found some weird shit in the basement. Flynn holds up Flynn holds up his fingers, there being some white chalky substance upon them. At the entrance of the crawl space, there was a bunch of hoof prints, dents in the wall, and plaster everywhere. Like Carl was headbutting the damn thing. There's nothing I can see in there, though. I feel like if you found hoof prints in there, you should probably just stick to the house and look down there. That's just me. Like, I wouldn't go too far unless you thoroughly check the basement. I know it's somebody else's house and bases are creepy, but still. He has a big house. Carl lives in a mansion, if you don't know already.
My theory is that Jenna gave him bad weed, laced it with some shit, and now Carl's on a real bad trip. Which is why I need you to talk to Jeremy when you get to Jasmine, Chase. He looks sidelong towards Jenna. Jasmine Street, I mean. I feel a chill up my spine. Jeremy and especially his friends made my life hell during parts of my childhood, especially after the lake incident. All of them were native inhabitants of Jasmine Street. If it wasn't for Leo stepping in, things would have been even worse. You can text me too, Chase. She seems to have read the look on my face. I swallow hard and try to look casual. Okay. Flynn rolls his eyes so hard I can't see his pupils for a moment. Pausing, I remember something. I saw Leo get into an argument with Duke outside the house earlier. Duke kept pointing at it and it was saying something to him. Whatever Duke said, it was enough for Leo to push him to the ground and drive off. Knowing Leo's minimum threshold for violent turns, probably hello. Flynn seems to soften a bit at that comment, looking sidelong to hide his smirk before returning to his more hardened expression. But in all seriousness, that is concerning. I'll also relay this information to Sheriff Malco when she gets here. I'll text Leo and try to figure out what he wanted. Good plan. Flynn immediately heads out without another word. TJ hesitates a little, fidgeting with something on the computer, but gets up and leaves as well. I'm about to follow suit, but Jenna stops me, her paw on my shoulder. Hey, if Jeremy asks about me, you don't need to lie and say I'm not here or anything, okay? Oh, yeah, I understand. She lowers her paw, recrossing her arms over her chest. We'll talk later, yeah? I feel like I'm lingering to the point of awkwardness now. Good luck. You too. With a clearing of my throat, I shuffle my way out.